Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to add the actual ribs, and obviously you're going to need your white for this. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put a little bit of white on here, and obviously you're going to need a clean brush. I'm just going to put like a tiny little dab because we don't need too much. We just need a little bit. Okay, so now I'm just going to dip my brush into the white. And I know that this still isn't dry because you kind of still want to mix this in a little bit. Like for this, I'm not letting it dry. And you're just going to want to do just like that. So it kind of looks like the horse's ribs. And do it kind of like light like that, so it looks more realistic. So just like that. And now your horse has some ribs. Ah. Okay, so now what you can do, if you look on my other horse here, now I'm going to do the eyes last, so we're not going to work on that quite yet, but as you can see, if you look at this right here, as you can see there's like little splashes of red everywhere. They're kind of like speckled all over, so that's the next thing that you can do, and I'll show you how to do that in just a sec. Also, you can just like add a bunch of different wounds everywhere, just like right here. And you can see that there's like a tiny little rib sticking out. It's really hard to see. And then just like blood or rib paint to make it look like blood. And then he has like a scar here on his neck. So now we're going to add some of that stuff. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to add the red. So I'm just going to use a different brush because I'm too lazy. So I'm just going to use this brush. I'm just going to dip it in a little bit of water and use the red that we mixed earlier. And basically to do this, you don't want too much red on your brush. You want it to be pretty dry, but you want to have a tiny bit of water. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to wipe it on this a little bit to make it kind of dry, and I'm just going to kind of speckle it everywhere. It's a little bit watery. Hold on. Very just like that. Put this just all over your horse. So now another thing you can do is add a scar to your horse. I like to add one on my horse's neck like I did with my other one, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to add a small one on his neck, so you want to grab a tiny bit of black again, and I'm just going to put a teensy bit on my horse, and I'm just using the stuff that's in the cap because I only need like a little bit, just like that, just a teeny bit. And now what you're going to do, whoopsie, don't do that. Luckily his stomach didn't really touch it, but anyways, you're just going to want to make a line, just like that. I don't know if you can see. And just make some more lines through it. So it kind of looks like a little scar there, or whatever you want to call that. So that's good. You can add multiple of those. I'm just going to add one for now. On my other one, I think I added two. I added one on the neck and one like on his like jaw. can see. Yeah. So now we're going to do some more details on the other side here. And we're going to let that dry because you don't have to wait for that to dry. If you don't want to, you can if you want to. Wait for that to dry in order to do the other side, but I'm just going to do the other side while this side is drying. So now what you're going to need is obviously your paintbrush and your red, and just, yeah. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the red, like I said we mixed this earlier. I'm using the same red that we mixed before, and I'm just going to add a little wound like right here on his shoulder. So I'm just going to dab some red kind of everywhere. Just like this. Just kind of make it like this. And kind of make it go down his leg a little bit. Just like that. And now what I'm going to do to make it a little bit more realistic is I'm just going to add a little bit of black, because the black really helps with making it look deep. And if you have like a lighter red, then it helps the red make it look a bit darker. So I'm just going to add a little bit of black in there. Kind of mix it a little bit. Just like that. And then you can kind of see it. So I'm trying to get this to focus. You can kind of see how that looks. And then I'm also just going to add some more like blood splatters all over the rest of his body, because it looks a little bit plain right here in this area. So I'm just going to add a few more like little blood splatters. Kind of like this. Okay, so now I'm pretty much done. So now what you can do is, while you're waiting for this to dry, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the eyes. So in order to do the eyes, you're going to need two different colors. So you're going to need some white, just like this, and then some light green. And if you look at my other horse's eyes, they're kind of like white, but if you look super closely, they have a teeny bit of green color in there. Here. They have like the tiniest bit of green in the middle. You can kind of see it there. Try this eye. You can kind of see the tiny bit of green there. There we go. See the green? So yeah. You can also add some blood on the face, which I'm just going to do quick, like I have on that other horse there. So I'm just going to do that quick. I'm just going to add a little bit of blood on my horse's face, because obviously it's a zombie horse. A little bit of blood all over his face. Sorry, my hand's in the way. And see, just like that. Sorry if you can hear my brother. He's being really loud and annoying as always. So yeah, you can kind of see I just splattered a bit of blood all over his face. It's so scary. Okay, so now we're going to do the eyes. So you're going to need a pretty small brush. I don't really have that small of a brush. So if you don't, you can just make it very pointy and just use a little tip of it. So what you're going to want to do first is take your white, and actually I have some white on here already, so we're just going to use that. So if you can hear my rabbit in the background. And sorry if you can hear people outside my door. Because that's cool. So you're just going to want to take a tiny little bit of white and just put it on your horse. Sorry, you can't see. As you can see, that's what it looks like. And then you can do the other side like this. There, so now your horse has white eyes, but to add the tiniest bit of detail, which can make it look a whole lot better, you can take a little bit of your white, or of your light green, that's the color that I have, and you can just mix it with a tiny bit of white, or a lot of white, totally up to you, what you want to mix it with. So I'm just going to mix it just like this. And then you should get this color. It's like a really super duper light green. Like if you've seen like things that if you've seen something that glow in the dark, like the color green they are. If that makes any sense? It's kind of just a super super light green. Here, I'll show you. As you can see. So I'm just going to get a teeny bit of that on my paintbrush, and I'm just going to put a little dot right in the middle of the eye. Now it might not be too noticeable, but it adds a whole lot more detail. It's not going to be the most noticeable thing in the world, obviously. But if you can tell, there's a teeny bit of green in his eye. And now you are basically done with your zombie horse. So there it is. Here's what mine turned out to be like. Yours might be a little bit different. You don't have to add like the ribs or anything. You can do whatever you want. You might want to add more than one scar or whatever. But you can do whatever you want. So that is how I painted my other zombie horse here, and if you want to, you can spray them to make them look shiny or whatever, which I'm going to do. I'm not really going to show it in the video, but now my zombie horse is basically done. Okay guys, so thank you guys all so much for watching this video, and yeah, I'm not going to be doing a tutorial on the skeleton horse because it's really easy. All you have to do is paint your horse black, and then you can look up you can look up pictures and paint the bones on. So that's pretty easy, and I know that a lot of people do that, but I decided that I would make this because it was requested. And now since I have a new custom, that means that I need a name. So you guys can suggest a name down below. And if you do this custom, then let me know what you name your custom, because that would be awesome. And yeah, and if you want to help me name mine, then I would be more than happy to name him a name that one of you guys suggest. So you guys, thanks for watching. Bye!